the defense.
What up? Holy, we're doing Split the Defense in August. I don't even know how to start a show anymore.
Yeah.
Really?
Welcome back. Thanks for being here. There's big news in the Toronto Maple Leaf land. I'm Webby here with CP and producer Ted, and we are going to talk here for the next probably 30-ish minutes about our new captain. Well, Toronto Maple Leafs new captain. My new captain.
My new captain.
Your new
Auston
captain.
Matthews. So Auston Matthews is the 26th captain in Leafs history. We can get that fact right out of the way. John Tavares was number 25, and I never knew that, but that's interesting. So he literally passed on the captaincy today by handing Auston Matthews the jersey. And they did it during a scheduled presser. Now, that news was released like 2 days ago, so it kind of ruins all the spontaneity of it all. Like, you know, today's media age where like everything is just just busted before it even happened. So like we already knew Matthews was going to be the captain days before they had this presser. This would have been a hell of a lot more fun and exciting, but they had one anyways, and they passed the literal torch anyways, and now it's official. So really there's a few questions that we can get into. I mean, I do want to talk about them all, but I think the first thing that we got to talk about is, do you think that Auston Matthews deserved to get the captaincy?
Oh, I mean, no question there. I think that's really clear to me that he deserved it. He's good enough. He carries himself to be that way. I think that we'll see how he acts as a captain. But I think everything leading up to this, besides the reason he didn't get it the first time, I think he's kind of checked all the boxes. So yeah, no question. I think that he deserved it. And like he's like talking about the media thing, like it is funny, like everyone on Monday already had their own take, right? And then now that we had the press conference, like now it's like a little bit of a slower, everyone reacting to the press conference. It's double media for the one announcement, but that's why we waited, is because like he needed to get kind of the full story here. And yeah, it was kind of interesting to hear them. Nothing really unexpected, but yeah, I think Matthews, though, like just even the way he carried himself today, again, like checked another box for me. Totally deserved it.
What about you, Ted? Do you think he deserved it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's that point in his career. If he's going to be a captain of a team, it's the Leafs. We watched him score all those goals last year. The guy's incredible. There's no goal scorer like him, obviously. Yeah, man. I mean that he's such a guy out there. And I'm excited to hear if we're going to get more interviews with him and less with John. That's okay with me.
Oh, we're definitely getting a hell of a lot less John Tavares, and that's going to be nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You know,
can I
nothing
bring
against
that
John,
into the
but,
next question then?
yeah.
Do you think John Tavares, Ted, deserved the demotion?
Well, obviously he handled it well. It's like I wouldn't even phrase it that way and saying like, oh, he deserved
You know
the
why
demotion,
I'm getting
right?
at this, right?
Yes. Well, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
But yeah. No, if you're gonna phrase it, no, I don't think he deserved a demotion. But I think what happened is good, and he's cool with it.
It's tough to call it a demotion. Well, it is it is a
technically,
demotion.
yes,
like there's no question, but
it's not like they're like, John, you're cut, bro. Like,
yeah, well, and it's not because he didn't deserve it. It's just the guy behind him deserves it more.
Yeah.
And I think
And he can
that this
respect that.
team, we felt kind of the transition, it being Matthews' team over the last couple years. And so I think it was kind of a no-brainer for me going into this offseason that, we were getting a new coach and that was going to come with the new captaincy. I thought it was kind of obvious. And I think that's kind of the reason they did it. It's probably obvious to people in the room as well.
I think it was a lot less obvious to me that they were going to change captaincy. I always thought it was going to be at the end of John Tavares' contract. And here we are now. He's got 1 year left still in his deal, and the captaincy's been passed. Not, he didn't sign back, or he does come back on a new deal, but then it's a new deal, so he's not the captain anymore. This kind of thing. I don't know. So it's definitely, we can agree that it's more about Matthews deserving it than John Tavares. Now, Is it more about that, or is it more about that the Toronto Maple Leafs just needed more change?
I mean, it's definitely a good bonus in an off season where basically we're going with the same forwards minus one of the top liners in Tyler Bertuzzi. So yeah, it's kind of like I see it in two ways. I see it as like management and Craig Berube seeing it as the best path forward. I think just it also is something that's kind of necessary to convince the fans that, you know, something's changed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's visual.
Yeah.
It's right there, right on the front of the jersey. You know, it's and it's Matthews. I mean, yeah, like people who are getting into this, getting like following this team. He's the guy. Like, yeah, it's all about him deserving it. That's all, and the team. I guess needing a shakeup, obviously, but I still think it's. I feel it's more of a thing for Matthews. Like it really is. And does the team benefit from that? Yes, because he's such a star that it rolls out from beyond him. Like any benefits for him are going to benefit everybody else. But yeah.
So how much do you think that this was worked into his contract when he signed that last contract? Like, you'll be captain, but we're going to make you captain.
I mean, I'm not sure they guaranteed it to him because of the way it played out. But I do think that like they said, like, you are the future of this team. You know, like one day you will be captain. And I think that was kind of a no-brainer. Like it would be if they were saying they're like, oh, if they were pussyfooting around it, I think that it would have been almost an insult. You know, it's pretty obvious. It's really clear. He's the best player on this team. He's one of the best players in the league. And it's one of those things where you deserve to have the photos of him when we look back on his career to have the C on him. And it's nothing against Nathan McKinnon there, Ted, but there is something about a star player having the C. When you look at like Connor McDavid, if there was an A on his chest, it would just kind of be weird to me. So I think it just fits for just another reason there.
Fair.
Even the
So
next
does it
time
make-
they put him on NHL, like 26 or 27 or
His
28,
third time
or
on
all of
paper.
them.
And
you know, he
yeah,
might be on all
and
of them. Yeah,
27 and
Yeah.
28 and
that's
28.
right.
He's the
Yeah.
most marketable NHLer ever.
He really is, though. You know, he's got swag. He's got the skill.
Everything but a hairline.
Yes, he's dedicated to it. Yeah, the hairline's lacking.
If he had a hairline, man, that guy'd be a superstar. That's why he's not in LA. He's like, I go to LA, but like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee he ends up in LA in something at some point. But
God, I hope not. He did say that he wants to be a Leaf for life, right?
he said that would he took the Mitch Marner approach a little bit on that. And he said like that would be ideal, or however
That's
he
the
said it.
goal.
That's the goal. That's what it was. Yeah.
That's
And I've
the
heard
goal.
that saying a few times. And I don't know. It's just like, just commit to it. Just be like, yes, that's the only thing on my mind. I want to be the captain of this team forever. Let everybody just like salivate over the words. But I mean, he did well in the press conference anyway. It's not like that was a detriment to the rest of what he said, but you could tell that it really meant something to him. Just you can't really fake the stories that he was telling about, like when, you know, he got shivers when Tavares told him the first time. He's like, I've got shivers right now, just, you know, receiving it. And it's like really important to him. And so, yeah, I think that those things too are just amazing to hear. You know, you want your captain to say that, like, yes, this is exactly what I want. I want this to be my team. And hopefully he brings a little bit of that confidence into the room and starts bossing people around. Maybe he doesn't have to tell Mitch to go back to junior all the time, but you know, just a little bit harder on the team. And I think it gives them the ability to be. And now that you have Craig Berube, who's such a hard ass coach, maybe that rubs off a little bit too. And he learns how to raise his voice.
So when they did the presser, excuse me, when they did the presser, and the question was asked to Brad Treliving, was there a moment that you decided to make Auston the captain? I'm watching it live, and I'm like, it was the moment when Mitch threw his gloves and they started chirping. That was the moment right there.
That was the moment right there, yeah. That's a good call. I mean, that does show you something, that even to his best friends, like he's willing to tell them they're not being, you know, not playing well enough. So, yeah, that's 100% correct. He probably saw that and it's just like, oh, there's my captain. He's coming out. The caterpillar's becoming a butterfly.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So now 4 of the 7 Canadian teams have American captains. Does that
Wow.
mean anything?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, it's not that I'm hating on it. I just think that means that like American hockey has just come a really long way. I think that like if if it was 15 years ago, that would be even more shocking. But it kind of, it rings true. The American hockey players have kind of, and they've been chasing down Canada for the last 20. So, yeah, it kind of makes sense. I'd like to see as many Canadian captains as possible, but
in Canada, because there's 16 of them in the States or something like that.
Yeah, it is weird how that works, but it doesn't bother me. I don't think. I think it's just kind of like a symptom of of more of the world being in the NHL.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's players
Yeah,
from
it's
all
just-
over. And, yeah.
It's the Toronto Maple Leafs, guys. It's not, it's not the Edmonton Oilers here.
Yeah, but like,
Let's
was
be
it a
honest.
big deal when we had a Swedish captain? I didn't think that was a
Toronto
big deal.
Maple
Matt
Leafs were
Sundin.
like, they were like some of the pioneers bringing the
It's
Sweden
true.
over with.
Well, yeah,
Börje
the-
Salming and
kind of the pioneer. Yeah.
yeah, I can't even think of the other guy's name right now. Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to know, all of that aside, those were just side thoughts. Does it make a difference who's captain for this team? Do you think this team is any different now that somebody else just has a different letter on their jersey?
Well, picture it this season. Like, what if they had done it this season? Would they have gone further in the playoffs if Matthews had it this season? Do you think
That's what I'm
so?
wondering.
I don't
I
fucking
don't
think
like.
so.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's hard to say until you see Matthews with the C. Like, is he a much different leader when he has it than, I don't know, then throughout the year you build a little bit of something different. But I think, in my eyes, I don't think it really changes much unless Matthews just makes a drastic change. And it's hard to really predict that. Really, I think that he's not a silent leader. But he is like kind of a man of few words, and so yeah, I think that it being a vocal leader is kind of really important. I thought it was the one thing that Tavares lacked. He did absolutely everything else, but didn't have a big enough voice, and so
Yeah,
that is
I mean,
the
like,
one thing.
I think
he needs
that's
to
like
be
literally
better.
it. He didn't have a big enough voice. Like, I can just picture John Tavares giving a pump up.
Come on, guys. We got to.
No, come on,
we gotta
guys.
go, let's go.
He's so monotone,
Come on, guys.
and he has no
just one
you know.
note. Like,
I don't want to say he doesn't have the passion, but John Tavares giving a pump up speech versus Auston Matthews, I think those will be two totally different things, and I think that's a great point you bring up.
I think John Tavares is kind of an interesting cat. Like, I think he gets just as excited about an NHL game as he does about shoveling his driveway. He is who he is, and power to him. Like, huge Nickelback fan. I think that he loves Nickelback just as much as he loves hockey. It is a weird yeah. He's an interesting
Nickelback.
character, and I think actually his personality fits perfectly with giving up the captaincy. Like, if this is like, you're never gonna see any difference from Tavares. I think he's gonna be the exact same thing, and that's where, like, the characteristics that he has are perfect for this situation. Just because he's just because he wasn't very vocal in the locker room. Like he said, he would say 10 monotone words to the guys, and that was it. So he probably might even still say those 10 words, and it won't matter.
So do you think he gets a boost in play with not having the expectation of the captaincy, not having to talk about it every night? Do you think that's going to help him? I mean, he still scored like 29 goals last year. Like, I think he got I don't know if I think it was ridiculous amount. 29 goals and 47 points or something like that in 62 games, I think is what it was, is what I heard on the radio. So it's close to those totals. He scored a crap ton of goals last year. He still got it, but do you think he takes an extra little boost from not having this? Or on the other side, do you think it gives Matthews even more star power and he's just Super Mario out there all around the ice?
I think that Tavares, will probably have a little bit better of a season than last year. Maybe about the same. I think that has to do with, like, Berube changing things up, and it might be a better style for Tavares. Maybe you get a little bit of a change there, while Tavares is still aging. So, even if he gets put in a better situation with a new coach, he's still kind of getting older. So Matthews, I think he's going to do exactly what it's hard to ask more of Matthews. Like, he was kind of Super Mario before. There was night, and he's kind of like most scorers where he's very streaky. But when he's on a 7-game scoring streak, it seems like he's Super Mario. So, if we see more than that, then, like, we're just going to see him break even more records. And And honestly, that might not be good for this team. Like, I would like to see kind of a mid-season where we see more of a Matthews play like Anze Kopitar, still play really well, but one of the best, play like Barkov, be like the best shutdown to forward in the league, still score 50 goals or something, and then go in the playoffs and do something so I can actually be excited about this team again. I'm actually really quite excited for the season. I shouldn't say that, but just so when playoff times comes, I can be excited and not dread it. That's what I'm more of saying.
That's
I mean,
fair.
I don't care if he has one of the worst plus minus in the league as long as he turns it on in the playoffs. I don't care if he scores 70 or 10 and as long as he turns it on in the playoffs. If game one of the playoffs, that man's scoring goals, ripping pucks up and down the ice, making crisp passes, skating fine, I'm fine. I really don't. I love the regular season. I can't wait to see. And, sometimes you have that shade of doubt, like maybe this year's the year it all fucks up. They're not going to make the playoffs. Maybe. But it's looking like they will, so we have hope. So now we say we're just waiting for the playoffs. You still have a whole regular season ahead of that.
Yeah, I look at it. I felt a little bit that way last year, not as much as most people did, but this year I feel much different about it. Where I think the regular season means a lot. None of these long losing streaks. Berube, I want to see him like incorporate a really good defensive structure. Do what like Florida did and what Edmonton did through the end of the season. Build a team that once you're going into playoffs, you're confident in your team and you're kind of going in there like you already won. And I think that's part of the problem is they go in there kind of scared and, they're worried about the situation. As early young players,
really
it's
bad.
just natural. And then when you don't have success, then it's just kind of building and building. So, I want them to go in with a bit of the chip on their shoulder, go in wanting to hurt people, like pull the Florida thing. And, I think Berube's he's going to push that. I think there's not going to be a lot of just like, oh, it's a, Wednesday night, who cares, pack it in and, go to the next city. Like that's not how Berube plays. He believes that like the regular season is really important. At least that's what he's harping on. So yeah, I'm expecting this regular season to be a little different than past. And it's good for our show, good for me, because I'm going to be, super dialed in from, game 1 to game 82. Maybe a bit of a, game 70. I might lose focus a little bit, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the season, especially with the Blue Jays sucking. I'm just almost praying for this season to start.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait for hockey season, but don't wish away your summer. It's almost there.
I know,
It's
yeah.
almost there. I can't believe we're back.
That's the worst
Split
part.
The defense August edition.
Yeah,
This is
Yeah.
weird.
it is weird. Yeah, that's the worst part about hockey, honestly, is because that means the summer's over, and now we're
Yeah.
looking at this is what I'm doing
It's
for the
also
rest.
best part about the summer being over. So it
It
depends
is,
on how you
yeah.
want to look at it.
Yeah, both are true. Yeah,
Both are true. Yeah, we got training camp coming up. What is it like?
it's like a month
2
away.
weeks, 3 weeks from now. Yeah, 3
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah. Everyone will like in the next week or so, people will start trickling in, and yeah, then we'll be like 2 weeks from camp soon, and yeah, we'll be hearing.
All of a
And
sudden,
all
it'll
the
be
media and the
preseason.
podcast will ramp up.
Yep, and then we'll be back full
We'll be
time.
back. Yeah,
Full 82 game season plus preseason plus whatever we get in the playoffs.
yeah.
We will be back.
I have something else
Hopefully,
actually to talk
You
about
will be back.
before we get out of here. Almost the most interesting part of the press conference today was Mitch Marner was there, and he didn't speak in the initial, like sitting up in the chairs with everybody, but then they did the media scrums after, and he did speak.
Of
And
course you did, yeah.
I didn't think that he
Why are
would.
you there?
Well, both all the captains
To
are there.
support
yeah.
him, okay. Like, yeah, support him. But like,
Yeah.
I guess.
I thought it was.
don't know.
There was a big thing about when Marner did his golf tournament. He only let like one reporter in, right? And so I was assuming that he's kind of taking the approach of I'm just ignoring the media from here on out. And I'm glad he's not, because like that would have been a huge detriment to this team. And he actually probably had his best interview I've ever heard him. He wasn't defensive. When someone asked him about his contract, he just said, I'm not here for that today. I'm here for these two guys. But then he did answer the question. And yeah, he kind of moved on, and it was saying that like, he's excited for the season. He's, it's still his dream to be a Toronto Maple Leaf. And, it didn't just feel like he was putting the words in there. I actually, it was a change in Marner for me in a way. So hopefully like he kind of brings that confidence with him, because I was worried about Marner all of the summer. Everyone's just so hard on him. And now that he's
every
sticking
year.
around, yeah, but this year is more than ever. And he's sticking around. Everyone was so convinced he was going to be traded. He's clearly not being traded. I'm not even sure they asked him if he wanted to be traded. And so, yeah, I was just a little worried he was going to come in the season, not be himself, just be miserable. And you know, that's one good thing to see. He even joked about the Berube picture in the coffee shop. He was like, I don't know who took that picture. There's no one there. And like, you know, it's just kind of funny that, you know, he's lighthearted about it. That's not the Marner that we're used to seeing. So
Yeah, I know. That's great. That's great to see. So I wonder, John Tavares, it was announced that he's going to wear an A.
Yes.
Who do you think are going to wear the others? There's 3 that can go out, right? Or is it 2?
No, yeah. You can have 4 assistants, or you can have a captain and 2 assistants. So yeah, I think it's Riley. You know, it'd be odd for you to not have an assistant on your defense. So you can't have 3 forwards, especially like, you know, in your top 2 lines. So yeah, sorry to Marner. Probably not going to have it. I can't see them alternating with Tavares or alternating with Riley. So you know, I'm not sure how much that means to him, but that kind of sucks for him.
Yeah, sorry, Paul.
Yeah.
His dad will be
Yeah,
real.
his dad's going to be really crushed. Yeah.
Mitch will probably be fine. But...
Yeah, it's probably, I don't really care, actually. It's probably good for me.
Yeah,
less
really.
pressure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm just
no
a guy,
doubt.
you know? Maybe he changes his number. He just comes out and he's just 15 instead of 16. It's like, oh, totally new guy.
Yeah,
Who is
changes
this?
his number. That'd just be nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. New me. Can't even fall. It has to be something completely different. Like now he's, you know, like, 69 or something.
Random number, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Completely
awesome.
different.
If he came out 69, I'd be like,
awesome.
wow, this guy's got jokes. I love it.
The only
Yeah.
person I know who's had 69, I think, was Oscar Sundqvist. I think I can remember. I looked that up. Who's number 69 in the NHL? Oh, I love that man. Like,
Yeah,
nice.
I was gonna say that. I know that for a fact because that's been brought up a lot. But yeah, I don't know of another one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Only
know. Nobody
Shorzy
with
in the
balls.
Why not?
Like, why wouldn't they
Just
want?
be
Yeah,
funny.
I guess you're right. Shorzy, definitely.
Oh yeah, very important. Yeah,
I mean, it counts.
it does. It count. I
Yeah.
count it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're a hockey fan, it counts.
Yeah. I count all his fighting minutes too. Like if you look on Hockey DB, they're all there. I put them in there.
They're there.
Yeah.
They're there. I'm not even okay. You can look that up if you want to.
Not true.
All right. Well, if
I don't think
any
it's
more
true.
news comes out, we will come back and we will discuss it. Otherwise, we will be ramping right back up as soon as you start hearing about preseason, training camps. Once that first game comes back, we are coming back post-game to talk about it, and I'm sure we're going to have plenty more takes. But if anything else happens between now and then, we will be back.
Yep.
So for now, like this, subscribe, share it to your friends.
Tell
and
everybody.
Tell the whole world that Split the Defense is doing a hockey podcast.
Yeah. We're back.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.